Oh, the worst has happened. You've been discarded by a hijackal. Let me tell you, that is not the worst. You can actually almost celebrate if you can bring yourself to do it. And if you can't, I'm going to give you 10 ways to resist the pull to return when you have been dismissed, when you have been discarded by a toxic, difficult person. It's cause for celebration, and you won't feel like celebrating at all in the beginning, but I'm going to help you see why you can focus on forward and turn this into a great moment for your future life. Listen up. Welcome to Save Your Sanity, help for handling hijackals, those difficult, toxic, and often disturbing people in your life. I'm Dr. Rhoberta Shaler, the Relationship Help Doctor, and I'm here for you. You'll get the insights, skills, strategies, and support to stop tolerating verbal and emotional abuse, whether it's happening now or it happened to you in the past, maybe by a parent, partner, ex, relative, or even a coworker. Time to take life back, to recover and to rediscover you, your values, dreams, desires, and realize them in healthy ways in healthy relationships. I'm so glad you're here. Oh, I know. When you're discarded by a hijackal, it hurts, it hurts, it hurts, because you were facing in the direction of the hijackal. You were hoping they would change. You were hooked on the hope that that person you fell in love with was the real person and that they would be returning sometime soon, especially if you made yourself into a pretzel and ended up being a doormat, and then that didn't even work. So if you were discarded by a hijackal, I know you're in shock, and I know it may have been your worst nightmare because you have worked so hard to not have that happen. But it happened. Notice, you're still alive. Good start, right? So today I want to talk to you about how to resist the pull to return. I know it's strong, and I know that you need some support and shoring up. I'm always here for you. Remember, if you're a new client, you can go to beaclient.com and get a 1-hour session. When you are in this doldrum of being discarded, reach out. Absolutely do that. I'm here for you. So here you are. It's your worst fear. It's happened. And why does it feel worst? Well, first of all, it's not your choice. Somebody else made a choice for you. Then it reinforces any past rejection you may have had in your life. Anytime somebody has told you you're not good enough or you're not enough, anytime you've been abandoned or walked out on or dismissed or demeaned or discounted, and it triggers things. It triggers the all or nothing thinking. You know, that's the thinking that you really need to understand at a deep level. And in fact, I'm just doing a video and an ebook on it. That all or nothing thinking, it sounds like this. Something happens and then you immediately go to, no one will ever want me. Nothing good ever happens to me. Instead of being able to stay in the moment and say, what's up with that person? I'm great. Why did they leave me? So catastrophic thinking is not true. And so watch for that new video in the ebook. But what it is that you go to the worst case scenario in your head. You feel sad, and in that sadness, which of course we feel sad when we lose something, in that sadness, we even let it overrule our anger. And when that person rejects you, you take it personally. And it is, wow, I don't have to be repressed, suppressed, and maybe depressed anymore. That's not the thought that comes to you. The thought that comes to you is, he done me wrong or she done me wrong, and ain't it awful, and what did I do to deserve that? And oh, I know what I did. I'm not a good enough person. I'm not a good enough partner. If only I'd tried harder. And then you ask yourself that question, which tells you you're not a hijackal. And that question is, am I the hijackal? But we have to move to that place of realizing that, wow, I don't have to be repressed, suppressed, and depressed anymore. That person has moved on. In the beginning, yes, feel your feelings. Don't wallow in them, but feel them, acknowledge them, notice them, give them a name. And they may be like, ain't it awful? Or no one loves me, or nothing good ever happens, or I knew I wouldn't be good enough. But if that goes on for more than 3 days, get help. You need help to shorten the journey. So you've been discarded, and you won't really realize it at first, but yahoo, lucky you. I know you don't even want to hear that right now, but you have to open your mind a little bit and believe that you dodged any further bullets. Heaven knows you've already had enough bullets, right? Hijackals are full-on assault rifles. They don't seem to have any end to the bullets that they have. And the bullets they have are designed to dismantle your self-worth, your self-esteem, your self-confidence. And if you're newly discarded, you may have too much pain and blood on you to realize right now that this is a good thing. Why? Well, you've been trained, maybe by the hijackal, maybe as a child, to define yourself by what other people think of you and expect of you. And that's how you measure yourself, and that's not healthy. So discard then immediately feels like another round of never be good enough. But you're in charge, right? Can you own that? You're in charge. Nobody's going to tell you how to feel. Nobody's going to tell you who you are. You've got to pull yourself up, you know. I have a pillow in my office that a girlfriend gave me a long time ago, and it says, put on your big girl panties and deal with it. And that's hard, I know, so that's why I said give yourself 3 days to wallow. Do not go longer, because you've got to pick yourself up. And remember, you're in charge of what's going on within you. So do you want someone else to tell you who you are? No. Do you need that? No. And if you think you might, then let me tell you who you are. You have the absolute right to take up space and draw a breath. Give yourself that right. You have the right to do life your way. Give yourself that right. You don't need to put your self-worth in the hands of anyone else. Great. You can be strong, and if you're not, you can get strong. That's who you are. You are a person who can define your own reality. You don't need the gaslighting of a hijackal to tell you who you are, what you feel, what you need, and what you want. You are an autonomous being who can do that for yourself in your own context. That's who you are. So as I said earlier, feel the pain, but with a time limit. Give yourself those 2 or 3 days to feel bad. Maybe vent a little to your close friends. But never, ever, ever to the hijackal. Never, never, never to the hijackal. Don't be the one who contacts the hijackal. No, 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 no. Never lash out in the hijackal's direction. It's just what they want. It gives them more power over you. Never text or email the hijackal. Again, they're just sitting there going, look what I made that person do. I'm so powerful. So yeah, pain is still there, and you can have pain and still focus on your future. Ask yourself this question. Do I deserve to be treated with respect? Or do I deserve to be treated with honesty? Do I deserve to be treated with love? Do I deserve to be in a relationship where there can be trust? Do I deserve to be emotionally safe? Do my children deserve healthy models of parents and relationships? Because if you can't do this thinking for yourself, do it for your children. And do I deserve to live in emotional healthy ways? And the answers, their only right answers are yes, 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 yes. That might be a bit difficult right now because you're feeling a little hollowed out. You're feeling a little empty. You're feeling a little uncertain. You're feeling thrown by the wayside and discarded, and you were. But we have got to find a way to help you pick yourself up and say, this is a good thing. So, if you believe you deserve all those things, then are you noticing that you're beginning to look forward now? Because you need to keep your focus on forward. Yes, disempowering thoughts and emotional longing for what you never really had. Notice that you never really had it. You always were hoping it was coming. That emotional longing for what you never really had, it'll jump in. It'll set you back, but only let it do it for a moment. Take charge. Turn and focus on forward. If you have to, pretend to be strong, if that's what it takes. Get up and face the day and say, I am going to face forward. I'm going to look at the present moment and moving forward. I'm not going to look back. I'm not going to keep hoping that that person is going to be who I wish they were or who they were at the beginning of the relationship. I have ample evidence that they are not that person, and I'm the one who's hooked on them really being that person. You don't want to be wrong, right? You don't want to be wrong that this person pulled the wool over your eyes and now they're treating you badly, but this is the moment to figure it out. So if you need to, pretend to be strong, but I believe you are strong, and I believe you're stronger than you think you are. Now, a hijackal, by my definition, only operates in his or her own self-interest. The hijackal is focused on what he or she can get from you. They have uses for you, not love to give you. And I hope at that moment when I just said that you had a second of saying, yeah, I think I really was used, because that's the beginning of that self-awareness. See it. So how do you resist the pull to go back to the pretend love a hijackal pretended to give you to get you on the hook to do what they want and have power over you and control over you, when you can recognize that they just wanted something? How to resist that pull? I'm going to give you 10 ways. Now, you may have to listen to them over and over in those moments when you feel like, I just want to send an email. I just want to explain myself. I just want to say I'm sorry. I just want to give them some love and let them know, because they're so wounded and they're hurting and I have to take care of them. In those moments, replay this episode. Okay, here are 10 ways to resist the pull to return to a hijackal when you've been discarded. Number 1, always will be number 1, focus on forward now. Not on going back, not on looking back. Focus on forward now. Number 2, make a list of all the ways you were demeaned and discounted and dismissed and abused. And read that list every time you think you might want to go back to that, because you will quickly see that that was not attractive. Number 3, remember the people in your life who suggested this wasn't a good relationship, that maybe you should leave. They didn't like this person. Remember them, and just open your mind to the fact they might have been right. They may have been able to see something that you were unwilling or couldn't see at the moment because you were longing for love. Just think about that and then think, would those be good people to talk to? Number 4, don't discount that it was abuse. Verbal abuse, emotional abuse, financial abuse, physical abuse, sexual abuse, spiritual abuse, all kinds of abuse. You don't want to go back to abuse, do you? You are not that person who says, I deserve to be abused. No, because remember, you deserve all those things I talked about before. Love and respect and honesty and trust and safety and all of those things. You deserve that. So don't ever let yourself think that that wasn't abuse or that it was your fault that you were abused. No, that person was choosing to abuse you. Okay? Now, number 5. Remember you were being used. I know you don't want to think that, but please remember you were being abused and used. You were used as a convenient source of relief from the hijackal's fears and wounds and need to control. So you had that function. You were used as the person responsible for their pain. You weren't responsible for their pain, but they used you as though you were, and they treated you as though you were, and they maybe have said you were. They used you as the person to blame for all of their all-consuming negative emotions. Everything was your fault, right? Remember that. Remember you were used to make them feel powerful and adored and validated while they walked all over you. They couldn't have cared less about you, except when they really, really, really wanted something. Remember that. And remember you were used as an object for their gratification, to meet their needs, while yours, they just go unnoticed, unattended, and definitely they showed no interest in them. So remember being used. Number 6, remember the relationship was never about we. It was always about them. And you probably desperately wanted to be part of a we. And so you justified and rationalized and made excuses for why there was no we-ness going on. It was all about them, what they needed, what they wanted. And in order to speak really well of themselves, they discounted you. So remember that. The relationship was never about we. In their case, it was always about me. Okay, number 7. Hijackals do not value you except as a means for getting what they want. And what they want isn't you. What they want is what you can give to them to make them feel better about themselves. So you become a means to an end, and that doesn't get you anything that you wanted. And you feel used and abused. Remember that. Number 8, hijackals have no interest in or ability to care in a deeply human way about you. They only care about themselves. And yes, I know you justify that by saying, but I'm compassionate and I'm empathetic. Or maybe you say you're an empath and therefore I've got to take care of the world. No, you don't. Notice hijackals have no interest or ability to care in a deeply human way about you. Why would you want to be with a person who can't care about you, doesn't want to care about you, has no interest in caring about you, is only using you as a means to an end? Hope that gets you back up a little bit and says, oh, I'm going to focus on forward right this minute. Okay, 2 more. Number 9, remember you can't change or fix them. You can stand on your head and spit wooden nickels for a decade, and you will not change them. Yeah, sure, they'll look like they changed for a hot minute when they want something. But no, basically, you cannot change them. A truly diagnosable hijackal, I can't change either. Not even with a doctorate in psychology and all the time and money in the world, I can't do it. Because a hijackal has to want to change. And their whole upbringing made them absolutely afraid that they would be found wanting in the world, so they become these beings who use other people. And number 10, remember, 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 you are better off away from them no matter how you got there. So they discarded you. Great, thanks. Now I don't have to do it. Now I don't have to summon up the courage to walk out. I've been discarded. Oh, my goodness, I've been discarded. I've been discarded by somebody I don't even like, and yet I'm longing for their love. I don't like their behaviors. Remember, go back to that list of all the ways they discounted, demeaned, and dismissed you. Anytime you're wondering about whether or not you want to call them or text them, because sure, that's going to happen. It's a habit. But please don't. Now, I'm always here for you. If you're a new client, go to beaclient.com and use that wonderful offer, a full 1-hour session for only $97, and we'll find out what's going on and what's fixable and how to do it, and then we can decide to work together. I hope that you've subscribed to my podcast so that you get a notification all the time. If not, please go and do that at transformingrelationship.com. You can just click on the podcast link there. And go to my YouTube channel for Relationship Help, FOR, relationshiphelp.com. If you need shoring up a little more, I have this wonderful personal home study program for you called Seeing the Cycles. And that is a video-based program. You can do it your own time frame, and each video has wonderful questions to journal and really go deeply into answering them for yourself so that you can see the cycles. And if you've just been discarded, it's a wonderful time because it will reinforce what's really been going on in your relationship. And then you can say, I don't want that anymore. So I hope that's been helpful. And as I always remind you at the end of each show, treat yourself really well because you're precious and you matter. And I look forward to talking again with you soon.